What's up, YouTube? So I'm out here in Santa Monica right now. And this neighborhood is very familiar to me. I worked here in these alleyways for many years, delivering to the surgical centers and hospitals in Santa Monica. Also the convalescent homes. Like there's a UCLA hospital on my left, there's a convalescent home on my right. There's a couple of other surgery centers off of Arizona and Santa Monica Way, or Drive, whatever. I've been driving these streets for many years, and it never ceases to amaze me, the things that you see in Santa Monica. I've seen dead people in alleyways, homeless people just overdosed. I've seen fights at the hospital. One guy was losing his mind at this hospital right here on my right. He was losing his mind, and he was on drugs, and I don't know what kind of drugs he was on, but he was super strong, and he ended up beating up like 3 security guards because they tried to put him in handcuffs because he was becoming so belligerent, and he was tweaked out, and he ended up scrapping on 3 security guards until the police came, and they just mobbed him. Once they hit him with a taser, he went down like a bag of bricks. It's crazy. Santa Monica. It's actually a really beautiful little beach town, but it's changed over the years. You know, in comparison to what it was pre-COVID to what it is now, it's a lot more, I would say it's a lot more dangerous today than what it once was. My grandmother used to have a condominium on the beach in Santa Monica, or across the street from the beach in Santa Monica. But there's homeless everywhere now, so it's actually and a lot of rampant drug use all throughout Santa Monica, which leads to violent crimes. You better have some situational awareness when you're walking these streets by yourself, and especially if you want to wear nice clothes or nice jewelry, or if you have nice, Louis Vuitton or Gucci handbags and stuff like that. You better be very observant of your surroundings, which is a shame because it's such a wealthy, in certain areas it's a very wealthy community, but it's riddled with homeless and drugs now. One time I was delivering a bunch of helium cylinders to a, I don't know if it was a dollar store or a Dollar Tree or a 99-cent store. I forget exactly. Or, you know what it was? It was a Party City. And I was delivering probably 20 tanks of helium to a Party City off of Sepulveda and I don't know. I can't recall the cross street. But anyways, it's in Santa Monica. And it's pretty early in the morning. It's maybe, 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I backed the trailer in to the parking lot. I open up the back doors to the Party City, and I start rolling cylinders in. And what do I see? I see this guy. He's walking down the street, butt naked. Okay, this guy's obviously he's like drugged out of his mind, right? And his body's heating up. Like his temperature is so high that they result to like taking off their clothes because it gets so hot. It's 6 in the morning. It's freezing outside. And this guy's walking down the street butt naked. Right? And he's talking to himself. He's talking to the wind. And he goes right up to the main front entrance of the Party City. And there's like a little planter, a little pathway there to the right. And he picks up a big boulder, like a big old rock. And the Party City, they have a bunch of these giant glass windows, right? So you can see inside the store and everything on display and whatever. And he takes the rock and boom, throws it through the windshield, shatters probably a $5,000 piece of glass, blew it out. And the lady, the manager, she comes out and she's screaming, "What are you doing? Crazy, this and that," you know. And the guy just takes off running like it never happened. And I say, "Would you want me to like call the police and file a report?" And she goes, "Why?" And I said, "What do you mean? The guy just he's gonna kill somebody. This guy's walking around, he's high on drugs and walking around butt naked. I just saw him pick up a big old rock and throw it through the windshield because he does this once a week. It's the same guy. He gets high on drugs and he walks down the street and he picks up a rock and starts blowing in windows and then just runs away." He says, "I call the cops on this guy once a month, probably, something like that. And the police, they never find him. It doesn't matter how many times you file a report, he just keeps doing it." The city's crazy, man. It's crazy. When she said that, I couldn't believe it. And if they find the guy, they'll catch him and they'll lock him up for a couple of days and then they'll release him because technically it was like a non-violent crime. And they just let him out and he'll do it again, you know? I've heard stories back there in those alleyways. I've heard stories of homeless people falling asleep in the dumpsters, in like those bins or containers. And the trash guys, they come up early in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever, and they grab a bin, they push the bin out from the little container area or the storage area, and the homeless guy's in there sleeping. And I've heard of them picking them up and dumping them in the dump truck and just driving away with homeless people. It's sad. It's sad too because I'm sure homeless people, they get killed in those alleyways because of things like that. They sleep in the dumpsters or they sleep in the alleyways, and trash men or garbage disposal guys, they drive through these alleyways in these big trucks and it's all foggy in the morning because it's, Santa Monica is a coastal community. It gets really overcast and stuff like that. And you can hit these people. What you thought was just a pile of blankets was a homeless person sleeping in the alleyways, and you can hit them and just, you wouldn't even know it, crazy, man. I've seen fights at these, we used to deliver like carbon dioxide to Starbucks, and we used to do nitrogen to Starbucks and stuff like that, and I've seen fights inside the Starbucks and robberies, and people pull out knives, and Santa Monica is turning into a very dangerous community. It really is. And if you look here on San Vicente, there's like this median or this little like island, right? And you've got some very wealthy people that live on opposite sides of this little island. And during COVID time, this island right here to the left, there was homeless people everywhere. They would camp out and pitch a little tent, and they would live right here in this little island, and they would do drugs and all this stuff, and they would throw their needles on the... Crazy, man, crazy. They cleaned it up a lot. They did clean up a lot of homeless. I don't know what they did with them or where they went, but there's some areas in Los Angeles, that are terrible, like Echo Park, MacArthur Park, Alvarado Street is really bad. There's homeless everywhere there. It's a very dangerous place for you to be. You got gangbangers, you got drug addicts, you got prostitution. This is not a good place for you or your family to be. This is dangerous. Santa Monica, not as bad, but still, you better be situationally aware when driving through. You think, oh, I'm in a very nice, wealthy community. Like, these are all really beautiful houses, and most of the people that live here are millionaires. So you would think that it's a nice, happy, easy living place, and it is for the most part. But every once in a while, you get a lunatic, who's just on the prowl, looking for his next victim, walking up and down the streets, talking to the wind. So you have to be very observant at all times. You gotta have your head on a swizzle. On a swivel. So I got a delivery. To this company. It's like a paving company on Pacific Coast Highway coming up. It's about 15 minutes away. So I thought I'd utilize the opportunity to have a conversation with you guys about some of the things that I've seen driving throughout Santa Monica in my years. That was just one of them. You know, it happens so frequently, you tend to forget. Like, wait, what, did that just... Remember that guy got robbed at one time at gunpoint on the corner of Santa Monica and 16th? Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It happens so frequently. But Santa Monica is a beautiful place. They've cleaned it up a lot. During COVID, this little parkway, there was a lot of homeless people living in here in this park to the right. A lot of drug use and stuff like that. So it wasn't it wasn't really a safe place to bring your family. It used to be. When I was a kid growing up, it was a pretty safe place, but not so much anymore. You have to be, if you come out, you can't, it's probably not a good idea to be by yourself. You want to be near people and the general public and stuff like that. Right now, it's actually not looking too bad. It's looking pretty good. You do see some homeless, but so obviously they've cracked down a little bit and started to clean up the place, which is good. I'm glad, because this was such a wonderful community as well, and it still is, really, for the most part. They just need to enforce the rules. They need to crack down on the drugs. That's all it is. All these people that are homeless, they say, oh, it's mental illness. Yeah, but their mental illness is caused because they're on meth and fentanyl. Like, they're losing their minds because they've been smoking meth for a week straight, and they haven't slept, for a week and taken a shower in a month, and they live off of Top Ramen and hot Cheetos, and they're dehydrated. Like, you would lose your mind too. I promise you. Don't sleep for a week. Live off of hot Cheetos and then don't shower for a couple of months. I promise you, you'll be talking to the wind as well. All right? I promise you. And that's what you see. One time I was in Hollywood, and I was on Hollywood Boulevard, and there was this guy. It was probably, I don't know, it was 100 and some degrees out. It was a hot day. And I was on Hollywood Boulevard, right, the main street, and there's this black guy walking down the street, butt naked again. And he's obviously drugged out of his mind. And he goes in the middle of the street in front of all the traffic, and the pavement's probably 120 degrees. And the guy starts laying down in the street and starts making snow angels. He just lays down in the middle of the street, butt naked, and starts doing snow angels and starts laughing and smiling, looking up at the sky. Oh, man. I thought that was hilarious. Can't make this stuff up. He must have burned his ass cheeks so bad that day on that hot pavement. Probably 150 degree pavement. This is gonna be a tight one. This is the famous California incline right here, or infamous, whatever you want to call it. Santa Monica's beautiful though. It really is a beautiful city. It just, they need to crack down. They need to crack down on the drugs and the homeless and the gangs and the violence and stuff like that. They need to put in place no tolerance. I remember during COVID time, there would be like, Asian people walking down the streets, and because the virus, they said that the COVID came from China and Wuhan and all this stuff. So Asian people were getting targeted by these homeless people or lunatics, whomever, whether or not they were homeless, they were lunatics. They would just walk up to any Asian person in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Hollywood, and just start beating them just out of nowhere, just boom, just cracked this little old lady just because she was Asian. It's so crazy. It's lunacy. Just unbelievable. Lady had nothing to do with it, but this guy's out of his mind, and he heard a clip on the news about the China virus or whatever, you know, Wuhan pandemic. And any Asian person walking on the street, they were just getting clipped left and right. That's such a shame. And people said it was fake. Like, no, that was fake. That was true. That was actually happening. That wasn't fake at all. You can see now how much more traffic there is on Pacific Coast Highway. They opened up a small section of the highway now that the mudslides have been cleared out. So, and this is really the only way from Santa Monica to get to Malibu. This is really like this is the fastest way, really. And it was slow before, so this is the first time coming from Santa Monica northbound to Malibu. This will be the first time, so we'll see how long it takes me to get from Santa Monica to Malibu. Post fire, we'll see how long it takes now. Before it used to take 30-40 minutes. Now it's probably going to take an hour and 30 or 40 minutes. You can see maybe you can't see, but it just goes for miles and miles and miles. So anyways, I just wanted to talk with you guys a little bit today, kill some time. I'm going to be sitting here in traffic for a little while, and it gives me an opportunity to talk to you guys and just, you know, ramble about my thoughts and some of the experiences again in my life and some of the things that I've seen that are pretty crazy in Santa Monica. It's definitely Los Angeles is a place where you will never get bored, you know, unless you're an introvert and you just stay at home. And some people are there that way. They're just very sheltered and they don't like to go outside and communicate with people and whatever, you know. And then it's because, you know, this place can be kind of scary and kind of intimidating. You know, there's a lot of bad people in Los Angeles and Santa Monica, and, you know, there's a lot of good people too, but there's a lot of bad people and crazy people in the world. So you always have to be observant and be aware, right? So anyways, I just wanted to have some fun and talk with you guys a little bit, and it gives me an opportunity. What do you guys like to hear about, you know, also? Do you like these just little rambling videos, or do you want me to focus more so on the fire topic, you know, or does any of it even matter? Is it you just whatever? Tell me what kind of content that you guys like. I would appreciate that, so I can maybe focus a little bit more on specific subjects as opposed to just rambling off my thoughts and stuff like that. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you again for all of the likes, comments, subscribes, and all of that stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm getting really close to 500 subscribers now, and for me, that's going to be a very big milestone in my little small YouTube channel of just me rambling. So thank you again to all of the subscribers who have been checking out my videos and liking and commenting and stuff. It's been very interesting to see how this whole thing unfolds, and in the future it's going to be really interesting as well. And I'm going to keep continuing to post videos on the fires in Santa Monica and Los Angeles, and maybe just me talking and whatever. So thank you again, guys. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.